All right, today I'm going to talk about freedom of speech. Why freedom of speech is even important to Christians. Some people think freedom of speech is like a political thing, but it's really, really not. First of all, Christians have been persecuted for freedom of speech for the beginning of the Christian church. So it's not new. It's exactly why Jesus said you're going to be persecuted, because of what comes out of your mouth and what you believe. But just think about this. You were created, all mankind was created in the image of God by his what? Spoken word. And therefore, he also gave you spoken word, right? It's like a fundamental human right. It is that great human right. In the midst of talking about human rights, it is the great human right that anybody can say what they want to say. And whether you think it's wrong or not, people have the right to say it. You can't propagate somebody's speech, even if you think it's hate speech. They have the right to say it, right? But listen to why this is important to the church and why I believe in this hour and in these times, people are so after speech. They're after what you're saying, what you already said, what you haven't said, the way you said it is so... This has been going on now, though. This has actually been going on for the past decade. It's only increasing. I believe it will increase exponentially as time continues to go on. Why? Because it is prophetic. It is prophetic that the church will be shut down and persecuted for what they believe and what they say. And just think about this right now in John. I'm going to be in Matthew 14. John the Baptist. We love John the Baptist, don't we? I love John the Baptist. John the Baptist is absolutely one of my favorite men of God. And you know what Jesus said about him? He said he is the greatest prophet to ever live. The greatest prophet to ever live was John the Baptist. Why? He was the one crying in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord. And he prepared the coming of Jesus, but the words still ring true for the church. We are preparing the way of the Lord. So listen, this is so interesting about John the Baptist. I'm going to read this to you. I'll go ahead and read from NLT so everybody understands. When Herod Antipas, the ruler of Galilee, heard about Jesus, he said to his advisors, "This must be John the Baptist raised from the dead. That is why he can do such miracles." He thought Jesus was John raised from the dead, for Herod had arrested and imprisoned John as a favor to his wife, Herodias, the former wife of Herod's brother Philip. John had been telling Herod, it's against God's law for you to marry her. Herod wanted to kill John, but he was afraid of the riots, and he believed he was a prophet. So what ends up happening is that John the Baptist loses his head for proclaiming godliness, talking about the law of God, talking about God's moral standard. He lost his head. John the Baptist, the greatest prophet, lost his head speaking up about immorality in the world. Very interesting. Not even in the church. He lost it for speaking up against immorality in the world. And obviously John thought this was an issue that he needed to address. I don't know why, I'm not sure exactly, but he felt compelled to address the lawlessness, which I keep bringing up. And not even to the church, not to the Jews, to the world, to the worldly system. Now listen, Jesus is the head of the church. Jesus now is the head of the church. And guess what? The testimony of Jesus, the spirit of prophecy, is the testimony of Jesus. So John being the greatest prophet, prophesying about Jesus, Jesus being the head of the church, what are they after when they want to shut down freedom of speech? What are they after when they want to incite hate speech specifically against immoral issues that go against the word of God? They are after the church. They are after the testimony of Jesus Christ. We are preparing the way for him. We are his voice, his body, proclaiming his word, his truth, and his coming. So my friends, I want to challenge you to think about this freedom of speech issue on a biblical, prophetic level. The world is seeking to silence the church or to persecute it to the point of silencing them, and have been throughout many generations. They've been propagating their agenda, and if you come against it, they want to shut you down. But it's really not just singular. It's not just one person. It's the church. They're after the testimony of Jesus. They are after him. They hate him, and Jesus said that. You remember, when they persecute you, it's not because they hate you, they hate me. They hate me. And so, friends, again, this is just another sign of the times. But this is why I want you to think about, in the coming days, the importance of defending freedom of speech. The end will come, my friends. The end will come. But we've been given this right to speak, and we must protect it for as long as we can, because we are the proclaimers of Jesus to the end of the ages, preparing the way for him.